So one of my favorite quotes is, "Without margin, there is no mission." So I wanted to share a few things from our lab or work with the Matheny Center that I'm excited about and I think are bright spots and would invite other people to at least know about, but also get involved if you're interested. So first off, we had a successful mini conference on multicultural orientation last May, and we have a video of that if anybody wants to use it for their training. We've got 3 separate talks of 90 minutes each, so a lot of content. What we're going to do differently this year is we're going to invite 2 talks on moral injury. Brandon Griffin is someone who's about to get the equivalent of a K award within the VA system, and so this seemed like a timely topic, and I'm hoping to involve some of our alumni who are at the VA. But what we thought we would do this year is have 2 plenary talks in the afternoon, but then in the morning offer a workshop exchange. So if we had like 5 to 10 people who wanted to prepare a workshop that would be kind of under the umbrella of the MSTAR Center, then people can get CEs for delivering a workshop, and then people would also come and get CEs. And our plan is to have this be free. We're wanting to use it for making connections in the community and also give alumni a way of staying connected. So another bright spot, doctoral preparation track's going well. I'll be in touch with the various program coordinators and we'll be visiting classes this fall. But one positive story, Sebastian Frank Love, he applied to the counseling psychology program, got an offer, but it actually wasn't the best fit for him. So we tried hard to recruit him, myself, Dr. Ashby, Dr. DeBlair. But listen to the deal that he got. So he basically got a $40,000 fellowship to do kind of it's almost like they have a farm system for the Yale Psych Department. So he has essentially like a doctoral preparation track. It sounds like almost like a tryout where they have a pipeline program where they're paying him $40,000 and they may give him an offer at Yale, or they're basically having him apply to a range of programs as well. But he's in a neuropsych lab and doing exactly what he was hoping to do. So I'm not sure if he took this picture after he got that offer, but we're really excited for him. So we have a few grants, larger grants that have early career components, and definitely let us know if you're interested in building early career structures. But one, kind of fun bright spot is Sally Lee and I applied for a small grant from a group at Yale in the Divinity School. Miroslav Wolf was there when I was in undergrad, and that's one of the people I read when I was interested in forgiveness. And he grew up in Croatia when ethnic cleansing happened between Christians and Muslims there. So his kind of most famous work is related to kind of the process of building trust in the context of ideological conflict. So short version of what we're up to, we have a positive psychology course, but we promised them that we would redesign this course with a focus on cultural critiques of positive psych, and we're also bringing some humanities critiques. Many of the philosophers and theologians think that psychologists and counselors kind of overextend our normative claims because scientific data tells us what is, but it doesn't necessarily tell us what ought to be. So we have a leadership seminar in positive psychology where we're going to be doing some activities that will hopefully give Sally and I ideas on how to structure this course. So there's 3 things people could do. They could try to come up with some sort of practice that would be analogous to gratitude journaling in the area of humility. So we'll have 3 or 4 people just trying out different things. And who knows, we might become famous. So Bob Emmons, people all over the world are doing gratitude lists. So maybe we can come up with something similar. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to have people join kind of a book club. And the idea is this is for people who want to learn to write to a diverse and kind of pluralistic audience. So some of the exemplars that we'll be looking for are people that are learning to write to an audience where they can't necessarily assume that everyone in the audience is kind of perfectly aligned with their values, and so they're needing to offer something like interesting and persuasive ideas that would potentially change people's minds, but with an understanding that they need to practice perspective taking and empathy in order to frame what they're saying in a way that would be both interesting and not trigger defensiveness in the reader. Another opportunity that I want to mention is we're working on integrating skills practice into training programs. So we have a grant to do this in the department, and so Jamie and I have been working on that with a number of other people. Aaron Mason, Franco Dispenza, Con Guventel. So I wanted to make you aware, one of the things we hope to have is a set of slides where you can go and find a case. There's a description of the case in the notes, and then there's at least one or potentially several videos where people could kind of practice their skills on these cases. And so really for any course in your curriculum, you might want to go to this library of cases and just pull something in, and that could occupy 10 to 30 minutes of time within one of your courses. So everyone complains about how hard it is to find good case content. This seems like a solvable problem. So another one of the things that we're going to kind of experiment with as a humility practice is for people who are wanting to work on multicultural training and applying that in a practical way. There's a model that we ended up doing with kind of a group that organically emerged within the department, focused on challenging cases involving religion, spirituality, and trauma. And the approach that we used just involved a process of talking about the case, masked, obviously, and then getting a range of perspectives, both within the group and asking for perspectives from other people who might have more expertise, and then coming back and discussing possible implications. So this is a structure that could really be applied to any aspect of cultural diversity, or really any area of clinical training where people wanted to get better. For example, one of my friends mentioned that he joined like a group like this to get better at couples counseling because he wanted to do work in that area. But, when he was starting out, he just realized that he really needed some support and feedback because it wasn't going very well. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention is we have a book that we wrote that I think y'all might find helpful for mentoring doctoral students. So the first part kind of integrates some positive psych, wellness kind of themes. The second part is really, really practical and streamlined direction on how to write each part of a chapter 1 and chapter 2. And then in the last section, we have some content focused on different aspects of developing as a leader and moving into your career, especially if someone's interested in academia. So I sent along some of my key references that I'm using in acculturation of new students on our team. Wanted to make those available, and if anybody wants to take a look at the page proofs of the book that we wrote, I'm happy to pass that along. I've also got a bunch of content on possible conversations to have within the first year. So anyone's welcome to make use of those.